everybody to Hanging with the Hooligans. My name is Doug.
I'm Alex.
Do we really need to keep doing this every
Oh,
episode?
come on, just do it, damn it!
I think they know who we are by
It's
now.
either introduce yourself or be introduced as Chud.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. They already know
We
at
got
this
Chud.
point. We're 6 episodes in. If they don't recognize our voices, because, that's all we are.
Dude, every podcast has an intro.
What if they think I'm Doug?
That'd be pretty nice, though. You never know. You never know, man.
Anyways, welcome to Hanging with Hooligans.
Yeah.
What if
Hanging
it's
with
your
the
first
Hooligans.
episode and they don't know who you are? They're just like, oh, who's that guy in the background that's just yelling?
I don't think anyone ever jumps into it. Like, I've listened to, more podcasts than, like, the main one everyone listens to. And I've never seen anyone else go, hey, I'm this every time.
Literally,
It's
because
they have
the podcast I listen to does do that. Even ones that are 10
Really?
years on, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard
Sawbones
it. They just
introduces the same every time with their intro music and who they are, even though
there's only one podcast I listen to that does that, and they're a bunch of 40-year-old authors.
Oh yeah, no man.
Everyone
the
else-
SCP ones, the cryptid ones I listen to, Sawbones.
Yeah, wait, no, is
every
that
single
more like
podcast.
is that more like a actual program, more like a radio show thing,
No,
or is it more?
It's not like a hangout podcast, but it's like, hey.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
our
talking
show,
about
it's
like
their
a
top of the
podcast
week.
where they just sit there, kind of what we do,
Like where they shoot
where we
shit?
just sit
Is
and
it
bullshit,
that
yeah. Where they
Um,
just straight up talking. They just straight up talking. And you're like, yeah, I know this guy because I've been listening.
Well, I didn't come up with a
You
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a reading corner here at Hanging with the Hooligans. My name is Doug, and we have Alex.
That's what
Sean,
it really.
and
That's what it
James.
really feels like.
Jeez.
I don't know, I think
like we're just like, hello, welcome tonight to Hanging with the Hooligans.
We're hanging
Tonight
in the
you'll be-
trailer.
You'll be joined with the yeah, nice classical music in the back.
I don't know, man. I think it's kind of nice because what if someone does just jump in halfway? They're like, "Oh, look at this! It got recommended me. I'm just going to start at the top of the list." Episode 35.
Maybe
they'll
This
they'll
fucking
come up with
asshole.
their own names for us, just like they probably come up with their own appearances for us.
Maybe
Probably.
until we go to video.
Once we get a camera in here and everybody can see the faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun reveal. So
Man, I'm not gonna be able to wear pajamas anymore.
I don't know about you
Shit.
I
guys.
still would, man.
but
Yeah.
when
I'm gonna wear the exact same thing every time we record.
Ooh, onesie.
the same exact thing.
Exact same.
See,
place
that's
every
like
time.
a gimmick we could all get into, like wearing bathrobes every day. Or if Doug's doing pajamas, so it's like I can bring my little slippers that I wear when my feet are cold.
Hey, I brought my slippers. Shut up.
But you're not wearing
Like I
them.
said, shit, we're
Yeah. Oh, those are moccasins. Yeah, that's not the same. I have big fluffy bear slippers just because I kept talking about it with Jay and she found them. No, I think she ordered them offline because obviously you're not going to find shoes like you're not going to find slippers my size online. Size fucking
Shit,
14 fucking.
wide.
14 wide, yeah.
No, I think she got. I think they're technically size 15 because again, yeah, who's gonna find
They're from New
size
Balance.
14 wide?
Hard, man.
Yeah. So
But
That
I
was
think
the thing.
Intros are nice though. I like intros. It's a structure on how to start. There's a reason every TV show has an intro. Every radio program has an intro. I listen to fucking
Yeah,
NPR
see,
all day, man.
yeah,
I
yeah,
bump
that's what I was-
NPR like a gangster.
that's what it is. Yeah. When you said you went on that radio show and you're like, oh yeah, I did real good at this. I was like, yeah, it's the structure
I
thing.
like structure.
Yeah, that's what
Autism.
I knew it right away. So, yeah, I don't know what. I don't even know what you guys listen to. As far as
Literally,
podcasts.
NPR is all that plays on my radio and podcasts. I don't know. I like listening to
What is
Sawbones.
NPR?
Minnesota Public Radio.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, I bought that.
I swear I've heard
So
people talk
proto
about.
podcast.
It's the OG podcast.
Well, I mean, do you listen to Majority Report?
No,
The
literally
Sam
it's
Cedar
like-
guy? 'Cause
So
he used to
most
be
of it's
radio.
like, British broadcasting, they do that. So I listen on my lunch break before I go to work and everything. So most of it's just daily news and everything. And
Yeah.
it's public radio, so they ask for money 5 times a year. And
Right.
They do have some funny sections though, like man, I can't even remember the names of the sections, but they basically just talk about news topics and question like. I
Oh,
guess
so
some
that's
other-
weekends.
Yeah.
Weekends, they do, oh shit. I was gonna say Moth Radio
Should've
Hour,
got
but that's
the
the
sound
story
effect
time.
We love NPR, but damn it if we can't remember the names of the shows.
The background sounds are just kind of the love of it.
It's,
a little secret love.
Wait,
of
Wait, Don't
podcast.
Tell Me is the name
Yes!
of the show. Yes, I love Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
That's a good one.
That's just, I mean, it's a little game show about news topics of the week and everything, but fuck, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty depressing right now, though.
No, they make it funny.
Yeah, they
They
do
make it
really
funny.
good at taking topics and making them really good. Like,
Guess how many babies were killed in Gaza this week?
No, because they turned that into a limerick and make
Oh,
it rhyme.
Oh no! Gosh, crazy.
So they'd be like, the bombs they are a fallen, the red phone is a calling, Putin is a screaming. How many babies died in Gaza this week?
Yeah.
Can you say 18,000?
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, that's a. Oof.
This is literally one of those things where, just to let the listener know, because we just said this outside of recording, I literally told Doug that we should avoid the topic of, like, Palestine and all that. And then as a side joke, here I go, jumping into that.
We're
Right.
making NPR jokes, you know, like, it's okay. We're cool like
True.
that.
True.
Yeah. Well, so, Doug, because I don't know what you listen to. I know a little bit of what Alex listens to in his podcast. What about you?
Well, so lately I've gotten into like philosophy and stuff like that, but that also leads down like the Marxist like road path and all that fun stuff. So
You commie.
yep, commie right here. But
That sounds like another really structured one, though.
Well,
where, of course, they're not going to just start talking. They'll be like,
No. We like structure. We
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
structure on the side of the table.
they'll be like Joseph Stalin once said.
well,
And then-
one I listened to actually pretty good. Well, is what it's called deprogramming, and it's basically just it's like an American a
Sounds like some cold shit.
Slav, and I think he's Afghani, and they basically just talk the shit about like politics and stuff like that, and philosophy and everything, and like just basically they it's funny because they keep joking about like they've been on lists and shit like that, and but they talk about like the alt right a lot. They talk
So-
about like leftist, like even
Yeah.
far left shit too. They're just like how insane they are versus far right and everything.
The
like
far
that.
left, so nobody.
Yeah, well, yeah. And that's exactly what they said. They're like in America, there is no such thing as a far left.
The phantoms, yeah.
It is. That's
It's people like your grandpa shadow boxing in the dark. You know? But
But another good one too, it's actually really good because he's a. They bring on a what are they called? Journalists that go out into the field.
is this what you mean, pregnant pause? Because I don't think this
Well,
counts.
this isn't a pregnant pause. I'm
Yeah.
getting to it, damn it. He's a field reporter that goes out into, and he does like really heavy topics like the Gaza Strip and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And he just fucking lays it out.
That sounds
But
like some Vice News
no
shit.
whole. That's yeah. He basically came from Vice, and he's like Vice got to like PC, and then he went off and did his own podcast.
Gosh, you know
But
the,
it's called. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it's like It Could Happen Here is what that's what it's called.
That sounds
It Could Happen
familiar. I've
Here.
heard of that show.
That's a good one.
just
That's really
as a
good
warning sign though, the guy's not his name's not Gavin like McInnes by any
If I remember, I think he said his name is Eric Johnston or something like
Mary
that.
Johnson. That sounds familiar too. I don't know. It really sucks to be like, oh yeah, this guy in 2015 sounds reasonable, and then fast forward to now, you're like,
Oh,
that guy like Sieg Heil. Yeah. I remember. Gosh, this is where we got into a very like from fucking around about the intro to instantly like, hey, super political.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know, like in 2015,
See what happens when you don't have structure?
yeah.
We end up dropping hard topics really fucking quick in the
Yeah.
soft opening.
Well, I don't even.
I
yeah.
believe this started with, "Hey Doug, what podcast do you like?"
Yeah, Doug's listening to the politics, but no, the thing that I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in 2015, I was, and I still am, very I call it apolitical as far as like I don't want to claim a side, like
Oh, I can't do that. I literally am endorsed by sides.
not
Yeah.
not so much that, but like I don't want to claim a side as far as like oh, I'm a leftist, because you'll never be leftist for, when the phantoms come along and purity test you, they'll be like, what do you mean? You have a corporeal form. You're not a leftist. Versus, the right, which, they always try to act like they're not as far down as they are.
I suppose on the left you got the phantoms, on the right you have the ghosts who aren't so see-through.
Yeah. They have a corporeal form, and they're wearing
more
sheets. Yeah. And that's the thing, though, is like, that was when it was a lot funnier to make fun of the rad libs, and you're like, shut up, like, air conditioning's not sexist. Like, what are you talking about? Stuff like that.
Was that an actual
yes,
topic that
yes.
came up? Air
So,
conditioning's sexist?
oh my gosh, I used to watch this YouTuber guy. It was just some Australian, which is already a red flag because they're super, not PC. But there was a channel called Wrecked Feminist, and pretty much they would go and find, a lot of crazy feminists doing, pretty much doing some outrage in public. And it's like sometimes what do you call it? Their point of view is like something that I would agree with, like, abortion, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand, your body, your choice, makes sense. But it's like this chick in a Burger King uniform kicking over some guy's like pro-life sign, and it's like some kid, and she's like in his face yelling, and it's like, you look crazy right now. And I get it. Because, like, here we are, fucking fast forward how many years later, and...
But how is air conditioning sexist? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you want to get to that?
I want to know this.
Okay, yeah, I was about to get to that. But first I was like, yeah, just letting you guys know, that lady looked crazy. I'm not the asshole. But, so, I forget her name. There was a Gamergate moment where there was this chick that said, hey, video games are sexist because, look... When you play Batman, it's not zoomed in on his ass, but when you play Catwoman, the third person camera kind of has a lower,
perspective,
somewhat lower perspective. So it's almost like it's centered on her ass. It was like kind of her point. And there was a lot of sexism in gaming, is what she was bringing up.
Still is, like, yeah. And it's not wrong at all.
And that was one of those things where it's like, and that brings up unrealistic body standards for. Women and, all sorts of stuff like that. It's like, hold on. You just brought up Batman, who is supposed to be a non-superpowered hero guy who could, like, bench press 800 pounds or something, and he's not juicing, supposedly.
You pretty much said exactly what you did in, like, episode 2.
What?
With the Batman example.
Batman's still, yeah. That's my number one go-to.
Yeah,
but I mean,
example, a lot of
things. You want a better example? Here's the biggest character in all of video gaming, Mario, who is an overweight plumber who could fucking do a triple backflip.
Bricks.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we already know the Italians are juicing, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's just pure testosterone or whatever for Mario.
Let's also talk about, like, Kratos, like that.
Kratos.
That dude is like chiseled out of stone.
Yeah, Kratos.
Oh yeah, God of War.
Yeah.
Okay, but air conditioning. I need to know about this.
So yes,
I'm invested in this.
That was a huge outrage thing. It got a lot of attention. So more and more people were coming out and pointing out things were sexist. So what this one chick said was air conditioning is sexist because in the office, the air conditioning is sent at a specific temperature for the men. Women are always cold in offices. Which I was like, I guess, girls always do go, I'm cold. And it's like, hey, well, that's because you guys take hot fucking showers. And if the temperature was, like, up to you, or Doug, for example, it would be hot as hell all the time.
Well, I mean, I got my trailer set to, like, what, 55? No,
you couldn't make this thing hot if you wanted.
No,
The fucking temperature leaks out of this thing.
I mean, I guess I can see the point on the air conditioner. I wouldn't call it sexist though, because the other end is my fat ass is sitting there sweating all day.
Yeah, so they're saying because women are cold in the office, that means they're automatically setting it cooler for men, and it's like, well, no, I think sometimes there's girls who are cold when it's like 70, 60 degrees, like, I don't know, people from California, which all of us have met those people
Yeah.
where they're like, it's cold in here and it's fucking
Well,
like
it's
70
like
degrees.
70 out.
Yeah.
And my thing too is it's like you can always add more layers.
Like,
Yes.
You know, I can.
That
always,
was what my point was
Yeah.
at the time when
Yeah.
I heard that. I was like, well, you could put on a jacket. I can't take off
I
my
can't
body.
wear shorts at the office, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't-
Well, the thing is this feels like something an anti-feminist put out there just to see if the feminists ran with it.
Well, I think it's also
Yeah.
kind of a.
A psyop, you're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
just
no,
like,
I think it's kind of like a dog
see,
whistle
watch
thing
them
now.
get mad.
See what Alex just
Take
brought
it.
up
Yeah.
is how fucking crazy we are in a society today, where you know you would have just been like, hey, someone has an opinion, but we're so far down the weird QAnon conspiracy theory
Yeah.
route that everything we hear is like, it could be a psyop. You know, like there's like
Psyops, dog whistle and everything.
Yeah.
yeah. And there's so many layers of irony and all this stuff. Yeah, that you don't know what's real, and that's a good point that he brings up. But yeah, that's what the whole thing was about as far as the air conditioning being
Yeah.
sexist. There was the ridiculous stuff like that. There was like
Like I get
exaggerated
I get to a
gender
point, but it's just
discourse.
like, no, like I see where you're coming from, but no.
Well, it's like
You
that
can't
thing you brought
cater
up.
to an individual when you're in a group like that.
Yeah.
Right. It's also there's these people though, 'cause where you have those few crazy people, then you get this guy. So there's Milo Yiannopoulos is a great example, who goes out, points at these people saying this stuff, and then they're like, look, this person thinks this woman wants you to be hot in the workplace, and also there's all of these other crazy women I'm gonna make up and you're gonna believe, kind of like how everyone did like the Mr. Potato Head thing. They're like, those leftists want to make Mr. Potato Head just Potato Head.
Well, yeah,
It's like,
and it caused
no one
enough of
asked
an
for that.
outrage among like a small enough group that it like created little cults within cults. sort of
Right.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
just the dumbest shit. Because when's the last time anybody hears about a fucking potato head?
Exactly.
I've
Well,
never
I mean,
seen-
hell,
I haven't seen one, and I go to the toy
section.
section a lot.
Even
I will. Yeah, I was just gonna say. Last time I did see Mr. Potato Head, I was sitting there going like, I kind of want to get him now, just because
No.
he's playable. It's Mr. Potato Head.
like as a kid, like I guess you had Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story, right? And that's the way you can be like, all right, it's Mr. Potato Head.
Well, they
But
had-
playing with it as a kid, I was like, I was never thinking this is male or female.
Oh yeah,
It's,
no.
let's see if I could put my eyes where his mouth is.
I think
Dude,
they
I
had,
switch
I
out the
think
lady
the
lens
toys
with the
were
man
gen-
eyes all the time, like fucking heck.
yeah, but also I think the toys were also, interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
just
like, once
totally
you
a
had
peg and
one-
slot system.
Yeah. So that was the thing, though, is like there were people saying dumb shit, and like I could keep going, but then if I start going to other examples, it's like these
It
are
just
our
gets-
friends I'm talking about because all of us
Yeah, that's
have
weird, man.
are reasonably like progressive, but some people say stuff that's a little too alienating of
Right.
normal people, is what you. Let's be honest, we're all weird, so
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, that back then you heard this guy and you're like, oh, he's reasonable because he's pointing out all these crazy people, and now there's all these crazy people that say this, and I believe him because I've seen these few crazy people, and they're saying he's a Nazi, and that's not fair. He's not a Nazi. He told me he's not a Nazi, and then Trump becomes president. I see that guy seaguiling, and I'm like, fuck, they were right. And, that happened to me twice, because there was two guys I followed. One was the guy who started the fucking Proud Boys, and the other was Milo Yiannopoulos. And, the third one where I jumped off from that point was Ben Shapiro. That was a guy I used to like, too. And I was like, I don't want to be 3 for 3. And it's...
See, for me, I saw Ben Shapiro, and I was just like, he's a fucking nerd. Like, who
He
cares
is.
about him?
He is.
Like,
He is.
what the fuck?
When you're...
Anyone who admits that you can't arouse your wife is just...
Oh my god.
That is not what he said, but,
He was
But-
beating around that bush, man. I'm telling you that
No,
much.
what it
Apparently
is...
not
Set
very
himself
much.
Right up for that. shit,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, that's what it is. Like, he says some dumb culture war shit, and then some fucking asshole is like, so you're saying you don't make your wife wet? And
Well,
that's
it's
pretty much
no,
the joke.
It was about wet ass pussy.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a dripping pussy, that is a medical problem. And
No,
it's
no.
like,
He said if you have it to where you need a bucket and a mop, that's a medical problem. So, I get it.
That quote here, because
That
either
is-
way, he just fucking set
Yeah,
himself up.
that is the exact quote, though. He does say if it's wet enough to where you need a bucket and a mop, then you need a doctor. I know, my wife is a doctor.
Yeah,
and it's
but,
like,
once again,
but-
nerd! Like,
yeah.
who gives a fuck
Well, of
about
course,
you,
when you're
man?
an
Like-
asshole who says trans people shouldn't exist and all this other stuff,
Exactly.
of course someone's going to come along and go, hey, you don't make your wife wet? Fucking loser. You know, because that's exactly what people did. But
Well, yeah. Here's the thing,
If you
it's-
need
it's-
a bucket of mop, you name a
and why are you talking about Cardi B's song? Like, that's the thing. He's bitching about the Barbie movie, the fucking...
The Barbie movie was great.
Yeah, he's
It was
bitching
all
about Cardi
how
B.
men don't need women to be happy with themselves.
There was like a pro-women message in there, but I was like, do you guys notice the part where men just take over and just vibe? And I was like, ooh. There's an anti-message in there, too, if you want to look for it, but... the thing that's really funny about that, actually, is there were people who were taking that narrative that, like, oh, it's such a dumb feminist movie, but someone was like, it's a beautiful movie where a Sigma male discovers the patriarchy and does this. Like, it was such a funny, like, anti-message thing there, but it's like, I don't know. I think the people that say exactly what it is the most correct, where they're like, it was a toy advert.
That's exactly. It wasn't even hiding that.
It was a 2-hour commercial, and it's like, yeah.
It was just like the Lego movie. It was great.
Yeah.
Well,
And
why did you go in there with high expectations in the first place? It's
Yeah.
the Barbie movie.
Well, and that's the other thing too. I mean, I think it's good people do get messages out of like movies and shit like that. I mean, because especially since
art should have a message.
exactly
Morality
art should have a
tales are
message.
great too.
Hell, I mean, Will Ferrell was in it, and he said that it was like one of his biggest jumping off points of being like, "Wow, dude, trans shit is like fucked up right now." And he's supporting his friend. They got like a new Netflix show coming out, I think. But the scene that set him up was like where he's like telling Barbie to get back in the box and everything's gonna be fine and dandy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, holy shit, dude! Like that's not just a message about like trans. I honestly feel like that's for every fucking buddy. Or it's like we can't go back in that box, dude. We're out of it now. Like we.
Yeah, that's the whole thing too, that you knew the fucking like neckbeards and fucking
Even
the Ben Shapiros were gonna complain because
Because it's something girls like.
Well, no, not
It's
this.
that
Let me
plain
rewind
simple. He's
and
an
take you
idiot.
back to a more reasonable time when Ghostbusters was being remade by an all-female cast, and they kind of butchered it because they're like, okay, all the men are dumb himbos. I get they're trying to do like a funny like, no, we're not the bimbos. He's the himbo, and they got Thor. Chris Hemsworth?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, they got him, and he did a great job doing it. And it was like, it was a funny little thing, but it was like, the rest of the comedy wasn't there, though.
Well,
like
he was the funniest part of that damn movie.
The joke kept being like, hey, look, men poo-poo brain. And that was the whole thing.
But Ghostbusters also wasn't a comedy movie. Like,
yeah, it wasn't. It was supposed to be played off as serious.
Well,
it had comedic moments.
I was about to say, the original had comedians playing in a movie.
Yeah,
and they were just funny on their own.
But it was not a comedy movie, and there was no bimbos in that movie at all or anything.
I guess, it makes me wonder if
I think they just missed the point.
No, if they thought the secretary was a dumb bimbo or something in that movie, I was like, I haven't seen Ghostbusters in years. I never got that.
She was
that blue collar work.
I thought she was like kind of the brains of like
No, I mean, she could fuck. You just look at her and be like, damn, that girl probably has some moves going on. But
she just really liked Rick Moranis.
Now,
she likes smart guys.
By the way, guys, if you don't know, bimbo does not mean someone who fucks like you just said. Bimbo is now like kind of the term for the dumb blonde type. The girls have taken it back.
She wasn't that at all.
That's what I always thought it was.
She was never.
I never got that. Yeah, I never got that message from
she
that
was
secretary.
Straight up 70s secretary.
Mm-hmm.
She was sarcastic.
Yeah, from what I remember,
she was competent in her role.
Yeah. That's kind of the message I got, that she was like holding the team together. You know,
Well, she wasn't. She was literally just sitting there answering phones and be like, "Yep, this is a job." Bloop.
Yeah, she does all the. Yeah, she does all
what
the.
you want.
Yeah, all the clerical
Really?
work though. Because like if without her, they wouldn't get anything done because all they do is jack off and chase ghosts.
Well, they're too busy getting ghost blowies to answer the phone.
Yeah,
Yep.
making fucking ghosts.
Or collecting spores and fungi.
Yeah,
She is the intake of their business. They are the one that do the business.
Yeah. No, it's one of those, like, I mean, you said that you're into this whole kind of thing. She's the one who's producing the labor that they can't do without
Yeah,
her,
exactly.
Yeah.
She controls the means of production.
But now,
Yeah.
fast forward back
She's
to...
the capitalist in the whole system, damn it!
No, she's like the backbone is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Brilliant, strong.
She is Ghostbusters, the company.
Yeah. So back to Ghostbusters 16, reasonably unfunny. Even though the women that starred in it, they're all comedians. They're all funny
they're
on
all
their own.
accomplished.
No, yeah, they are.
The movie just completely missed the mark of what a Ghostbusters movie needs to be.
Yes.
It just wasn't a good movie.
I also felt like it was really rushed. Like I felt like there
Pacing
wasn't-
was ass.
Oh yeah, there was no setup. It was like we went from the university straight to the fucking like fire depot. I was just like,
I didn't care
Wait,
about
what
any
the
of them
hell?
by the time we hit the end of the movie.
Now,
well, yeah, and that was the other thing. Like I really. Here's the thing. I had high hopes for it, and maybe that was my fault because I should just go in expecting a movie.
I thought it was gonna be cool when I first heard
I
it.
thought it was gonna
Yeah,
be
It
good too.
was Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I gave it a shot.
And I watched it, and when we left, like, my girlfriend at the time was just like, that was an amazing movie and everything. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it was funny at some point, but I like.
Yeah,
it
Chris
wasn't a
Hemsworth is really
movie.
charming.
Well, and like that entire dance scene, like I felt like that was like the highest point of the entire like comedic aspect of it all. But I was just like, everything else is all right, but it's not. I don't know. It wasn't. There's making jokes for the joke's sake, and then there's like making a joke because some shit happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Ghostbusters was comedians doing a very serious job.
You're saying it
You
was
know?
a sitcom movie.
But
You know what? You say it like that, and that's actually kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of how it felt.
well, see, with this one, it just felt like comedians coming in and trying to not do a serious job, if that makes sense.
Well, then I need some laugh tracks because I need to know when to laugh when watching that movie.
You know what it really felt like? You say sitcom. It felt like it was a giant SNL skit.
Well,
And that's
oh,
basically what it
that
was. They were all
it
SNL
was
people.
SNL skit after SNL skit.
I
Holy
hate
shit.
SNL.
Well, all of those guys were on SNL.
Oh yeah.
I haven't liked SNL pretty much almost
Well,
ever.
and I also heard the issue too was the director was kind of like very flippy floppy too. Like, yeah, he had no spine. He couldn't say no to anybody on stage. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
So like don't get me wrong. Like like I said, they're great comedians and stuff, and I think they've done some good movies like as their own players and stuff. But coming together,
I'm pretty sure at least one of them had their career ruined by that movie.
well, it felt like a comedy improv troupe up there trying to make a film sometimes,
Yeah, it's a bummer. But yeah, that's the thing though, is people don't get over that pivotal moment in time where they're like, look at this, it's an obvious stupid wannabe feminist movie. It's really ham-fisted is really what it is. But people keep pointing to that every time there's anything with a woman in it now.
Well,
That's-
yeah. and it's
Anytime there's
stupid.
any woman lead, they're like, look what they're doing. This is just like that. And it's like, no.
Fuck, man, that was
Yeah.
years ago. At least
Yep.
give us like a more recent example.
Conservatives do not go past the year 2016.
Yep.
That's why Dave Chappelle's telling fucking Apache airplane or Apache helicopter jokes. That's why people still do the, oh, you triggered snowflake. Like, they can't get over that. And, it really shows in the way they try to make everything the same thing again and again.
Well, yeah, it's they keep trying to come up with jokes, and I'm like, my dude, go back to the 50s, it'll be funny there.
Have you guys ever actually listened to conservative humor, like the actual right-wing humor?
Yes.
That's just it.
It's
I can't find it.
It is not good.
Oh, it's just it's bad.
I think on both sides the humor is pretty fucking corny and dumb.
No, here's
Well, I guess again, I think it depends.
the heart of it is like, okay, if you're sitting here trying to tell a joke, but your joke is politically charged where you're trying to make a point, you're more than likely going to lose the humor in it because you're trying to debate something serious. You're trying to debate, but it's a joke. And it's like, no, you're gonna lose us there because like very few people can make a joke out of that. That's the whole thing that, like, growing up, and now I gotta go before 2016, back to when people, were allowed to say just about anything. And I remember, again and again, these comedians, Joe Rogan, Carlos Mencia, Jeff Dunham, everybody always had this part in their specials where they'd have to be like, people came up to me after the show and complained, and how dare you say this thing? And I had to tell them, I'm a comedian. I don't mean what I say. I'm just trying to be funny. And I remember hearing that again and again and again.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, oh yeah, it's a joke, you know? And it's so weird because somewhere down the line, these same comedians that said that lost that themselves. Like Joe Rogan will, he'll tell jokes, but he also, like, he says a lot of stuff he genuinely means. Jeff Dunham is like, full mask off, like, yeah, no, those weren't just jokes. He's like so racist now.
And like, shit, really? I thought he was just one of those.
Dude, he's one of my favorite comedians. And
well, yeah, and that's why I'm sitting here going like, man, I think he's just really stupid.
Dude, another one of my favorite comedians, Rob Schneider, I would punch in the face if
Rob Schneider, I would punch in the face.
He's gone full on
He
wacko.
fucking sucks.
Has he?
Yeah, like
him and fucking the dude who was Hercules in the Hercules show.
Right? Oh, I was so disappointed by that.
Yeah.
It's like,
because there's a point where, like, Joe Rogan, I often say he's caused a lot of brain rot in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan's still ultimately the same guy that I liked years ago. He's just gotten
changed. He's just
no. He
has a lot of influence from one particular side that just keeps coming back.
Yes.
And he's like, that's my friend.
He's more charitable. Yes, he's more charitable to the right-leaning people that he listens to.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that he's bad in all the stuff, but he definitely, you definitely do see some more annoying, not preferences, but opinions of his. But that's not, that's, everyone has that. But there's some people that are just so, like, oh man, like Rob Schneider's too much.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham's too much, where it's like, okay, like, you're blatantly racist. And I remember I used to say blatantly racist things when I was younger. And it
By the way, we're talking like
middle school.
middle school, high school.
I'll be honest. We all said the N-word not too long ago before Trump was president. And that's when it was like, nope. Hey, white supremacists are real? I'm not saying that anymore.
You reach an age and you're just like, oh my god, the fucking shit that I used to
cringe.
say.
Yep.
Well, no, we were allowed to, and it was like there was a point where we had the, I don't want to say the token phrase of, oh, I had a black friend. It's like, yeah, we knew people of color, all cultures and stuff, and all this stuff was on the table, and it was like, especially coming from such a diverse area. We thought, like, these people aren't like this. You barely meet people that are racist. And when they are, it's some moron you really don't want to talk to.
Yeah. And it's some rando. It's not like every third person you meet. You remember this guy because he stands out.
Now, no, it's a lot more fucking common nowadays, though.
Yeah.
And the thing that sucks is, like, I'll admit where I was wrong, because this is, like, the point I was getting to in talking about the whole 2016 stuff is, when I first started learning about conspiracy theories watching Alex Jones, this is going to be a weird thing for Doug to hear, but I remember I saw this video, and it was about police brutality. I'm like, holy fuck, we live in a police state, just like Alex Jones says. And the thing that I wasn't realizing is how many people in this video were black. So here I am believing, yeah, we do live in a police state. We do live in a state where the police are very brutal and, will kill or beat the fuck out of people for not listening. And, will be more harsh. And then 2014 rolls around, 2015, and there's this coworker at my security job, and she's talking about that thing too. And she's like, it's the white man trying to hold us down. And I said, the fuck are you talking about? It was the most... it was one of those like moments though where my brain didn't connect the dots.
Yep.
Of like, hey, all those people that you were seeing were black.
Yeah.
And it's like I was still what I told her in that moment. I still actually believe now, but it's not so much a white and black thing. It is the upper class and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that kind of partly elevates that is racism, of course. You know, because it's like, yeah, if you're white and poor, you still are better than someone who's black and poor in this system. You have a better chance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're black and you made money, now you're someone who just like you toppled the whole thing on its head, and you know,
exactly.
That's
it's toxic individualism at this point in time.
Right.
It's like you can do it so long as you got like that go-to and gumption to go do it and shit like that. And it's like,
and there's plenty
no,
of people,
motherfucker. Like,
yeah.
These people, the people that like to stand on their own petards and go like, yes, I made it myself. No, motherfucker. You got $1 million loan from his parents, or he got a loan from a bank somewhere.
Well, when you look at people,
yeah,
when you look at someone like, okay, so like Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Dr. Dre. In a way, they did it. They crawled out of the like lower income range, and they got into the upper. Yeah, exactly. And they did flip the system on their head. And then they said, well, if I could do it, that means anybody can do it, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Dr. Dre necessarily said that. I know
No,
Kanye
Dre's
has
actually fairly cool and does.
I know
Yeah.
Wow.
Kanye
Dre's
West
very
is very psycho, and Lil Wayne at one this was years ago though, said, "Don't tell me my life doesn't matter because I did this and I'm worth this." And it's like, I remember that argument being before, and now, you know, it's a lot more clear. But back then, yeah, it was like people took the Black Lives Matter thing to literally,
yeah,
and that was his argument against it. And it's like, well, no, you're an example though. Like you know what it's like,
mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
at the
you
lower
know
margin.
Like I think what's funny is that people don't understand why gangs formed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, it wasn't because, they couldn't get jobs and so they had to go off and do something with their hands and stuff. No, motherfucker, dude. Like, it was because they couldn't get jobs because white guys were the ones that owned the business. They couldn't do anything about it because the police wouldn't back them up and the legal system wouldn't back them up. And then, what?
Well,
and then the police would come into the communities and brutalize them
There
for
you go.
being
I was about to say,
homeless,
yeah.
or not having a job.
I believe it's the Crips that formed specifically to protect their communities from the police.
Yes.
And I think, when people are asking where does the slippery slope happen, where they went from that to dealing drugs and all that, it's like, oh no, it's your socioeconomic freaking situation where anybody will do whatever they gotta do to make money.
If there's no input of resources, there's not going to be any growth from an area. You know what I mean? If you have a block full of just housing, there's no stores, there's no grocery stores, there's no private little businesses that sell little doodads out of their apartments. The fuck are they supposed to do?
Right. That's the thing, and even those stores, if they do have one, it's like low staff, you know, and it's like, well, crazy, and they also won't be in the position to hire more people because there's people who are desperate, and now they're robbing those stores, taking from the stores, stuff like that. It's crazy. Have you guys seen what's going on in California as far as the blatant like robberies, basically, in a way?
No.
Blatant burglaries of bigger businesses. There are people in bigger cities where, blatantly grabbing, snatching iPhones out of Apple stores and stuff like that. And it's like...
the display ones and everything?
Yeah.
Does those things even work?
I don't know, but my thing is, these people are desperate.
Yeah.
They live in a city where the rent's probably fucking $3,000 now.
Oh.
Yep.
And if not more, if you're in LA or San Francisco,
You want to get anywhere, you need a car.
Yeah. Everything there is so desperate, and people will turn around and then they're like, it's the policies that made it this way. Like, no. It's kind of weird, though. They did, California did go and make a PvP laws a little bit, where they're like, yeah, you could steal up to this amount and it won't be as crazy. But that's because the...
I was going to open the door real quick. It's
I thought you were...
open here.
Yeah, it's... It's because things have gotten to such a point where they can't to arrest those people for like petty crimes.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
So,
Have them in
yeah.
the system for 2 years and
And I think COVID had something to do with that too.
Yeah.
Where they're like, these are, the prisons are overpopulated. So, things have gotten a lot more crazy with that, and people just try to point at the culture or. And you know what I mean by the culture. They're trying to blame other races by this.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's because everything's expensive. That's
Their
not their
culture's
fault.
a little dark over there, isn't it?
right?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it's like ugh.
There's so many massive reforms that need to be made in this country. Like, yeah, we're the greatest country on earth, the greatest country on earth, and like, none of the problems ever get solved though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have you guys heard that San Francisco is like lined up to be the next Detroit, as far as like
lost jobs. And shit
lost
like that.
lost jobs and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, because of the tech industry
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Like when things move on.
Because
but
people are
But
getting laid off.
socially, it's
socially,
Yeah.
and I don't think that'll happen because San Francisco and you look at Silicon Valley and everything, but San Francisco's also a major shipping hub, and it'll turn back into a blue collar city like it was, and everything will spread out again.
Yeah, the reason Detroit is the way Detroit is because people abandoned the Midwest in
Oh, yeah.
the mid-century, like last century, by the way, the mid-century
Well, yeah,
of
'cause
last
there's
The
century.
Rust Belt is called that for many, many reasons.
The
Yeah.
only thing that they had there was car manufacturing. When all the car manufacturers decided to go elsewhere,
Yeah.
there's nothing left to export.
There's
I
no
mean-
steel industry anymore. It's like it's.
Think about it this way. Think about how many jobs are actually available in our area.
In our area, there's
Yeah.
quite a few.
And I mean, let's be honest. There's places where you could get by, but
Yeah, it depends. Are you looking for a job or are you looking for a career?
yeah, well, it's like people here. Not everyone went for it, but everyone was accepted into these jobs. The places here. I think we have two major employers, and then one that's like a franchise. And if one of those major employers leave, this town's fucked.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
This town might be fucked if the Walmart closes down. That's how how weird it is in the Midwest as far as availability of resources and stuff like that.
Well, and a lot of us where we're at is, even if you look on the map, we're literally the central hub in a spoke system. All the outside towns come to us for goods and services. And then it spreads out from there. There's no reason our town should be as small as it is, just by the amount of people that have to come here and the services that have to come here. There's a lot of reasons why this town stays this small, and I could sit here and rant for 2 hours about that.
Well, we are doing
But-
a podcast, so go for it.
Oh, man. But a lot of it's small town corruption, a lot of it's stupid shit like our local city-owned liquor store that they refuse to give up,
Yeah.
which in itself is massive fucking fraud.
They want to. Yeah. They're trying to hoard the pretty much what resources are there to go around.
Yeah.
And
There's a reason we don't have any franchise sit-down restaurants in this town. There's not one franchise restaurant. Which you think about it, you go any other fucking town around, and you're going to run into a Denny's, a Perkins, some sort of chain
and
restaurant.
Denny's is really what we need here.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. There is no chain sit-down restaurant. You get your
Yeah.
fast food, because everyone's got fast food.
Yeah.
But there isn't. There's nothing here. And it's weird, because we have the township to support them.
Mhm.
There's enough people here to support it. There's more than enough room and buildings and everything to build this shit. But it continuously gets denied.
And it's funny because it's like they want to keep this place small town, and it's like that's not happening. Like with the businesses here, and as if one of the businesses here that is continuing to grow keeps growing, more and more people are going to move out here.
Mm-hmm.
And how many apartments and housing things have they put up just since we moved here?
A lot. But
Yeah.
when they did the last census, that fucking population sign did not change.
Yeah.
Somehow, from 20 years ago, this town still is down 1,000 people. From 20 years ago, mind you, with all the new construction and shit put up. It's like, where did they hide 1,000 people 20 years ago? I know families were bigger then, but you didn't have that many fucking people smashing these small Midwest houses.
Yeah, maybe well, first of all, I think they're lying. But
Well,
second
they're
of all,
outright lying.
yeah. Second of all, I do think a lot of people, as soon as their one or two employment opportunities run out, they're like, well, I gotta go.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, brain drain is a big thing that happens around the Midwest and a lot of places. Because if you can go off to college and go somewhere else, you're going to.
Yep.
Or if you're like us, I make you guys move out here. Ooh, they're hiding things from us.
You're suggesting a title name.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're trying to bring the brain back in.
Well, then it is. A lot of things up here is... Well, since this is our politics episode, I'm just going to go on it.
Yeah.
Is that I run for state office here. And a lot of what I'm trying to get people to realize is that we are a rural area, but we are, in our area, is a high-tech manufacturing and distribution rural area. We're not fucking farmers and dairy cows. We do. But we have 2 major high-tech manufacturers here. We have a major electronics distribution. We have massive industry between like Marvin's and everything for more manufacturing up north to us. This is a manufacturing hub. We have so much that comes out of this place that people don't realize. And fucking everyone is just dumb as a box of rocks not to realize what an economic powerhouse this area could be with actual investment in infrastructure to get things out of here. Because we're up in the ass end of nowhere. I mean, we all understand that.
So I think it's 93% of Minnesota lives south.
Mm-hmm.
We're 7%.
If even that. So like
I
my
think
district,
it's technically like there's a middle, and that's 4%. I think we're 3%. Is what I remember.
Yeah. So the district that I run for is the second largest district in Minnesota, and it's 4 counties big. Some of these other districts are less than a third of a county just by population. So I have 4 giant counties. I mean, I take up the entire northwest part of the state here.
Yeah.
The only other one bigger is...
It's got to be Hennepin, right?
No. The only other one bigger here is if you go out to the Iron Range there, and it's the entire Iron Range because there's just no one that lives in the mountains.
Oh.
So, it's...
Oh, you mean not by population, but by...
No, because they're all the same. All the districts are the same population-wise. That's why mine is so big, because I need 4 counties to get the same population as some of the city's counties that are, 3 blocks.
Right. No, that's the crazy thing.
That's how fucking crazy it is that we're so so sparsely populated, but we do have the ability to just be such an economic powerhouse. But it all goes back down to culture wars and dumb bullshit that people don't realize that we could actually do a lot more up here.
Yep.
But too many people are like, oh, those goddamn idiots don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know if I mentioned this when I don't know if I've mentioned because I don't think I said where I worked on this podcast before.
I don't think any of us.
I don't know if I mentioned, but the incident that happened at where I worked.
There's been a few of them now.
The
murder?
Yeah, the murder.
The recent murder.
Did I bring? Yeah.
No, we haven't mentioned that.
I think we've talked about it, but so at work, it was one of those ridiculous things where they're like, "Oh, we're looking at solutions." None of them were security, by the way, in case you guys were curious.
Oh, they're going to review the tapes, though.
Yeah, they'll
review the tapes.
Their answer to that, by the way, was, "Hey guys, just watch out." And it's like, "Oh, good thinking.
Good call. Yeah.
If a guy goes to beat my ass with a fucking street sign, I'll watch out."
Well, so viewers, if you don't know, which most of you probably don't do, viewers, listeners, I don't know what we call you guys, you people.
Yeah.
So a guy was out smoking a cigarette, just minding his own business, and a dude came up and started beating the crap out of him and smashed his head in with a concrete sign.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. No reason, no nothing. Yeah, just fucking beat his head in with a sign filled with concrete.
Right. So they had a little town hall with the management, and the CEO never showed up.
Oh,
he was too busy doing some other bullshit. I remember
Yeah.
they said that, and everyone's like, "Oh, so this isn't important?" And it's like, "No, not really."
Yeah.
Now, what I remembered hearing is that they brought up, or they wanted to bring up, a certain other agency that worked with that company. And the reason, and if you guys, since you guys don't know, this agency is like a contracting out kind of deal. Now, they contract out people from all over the country because they can't hire enough people to stay at this company.
Yeah.
That's as James was saying, economic powerhouse, probably the backbone of like this whole corner of the state.
It is easily the largest employer within 150 miles.
Yeah. So they're at a point where they have to hire out with these contractors, and they ask, well, do we know if it was, the company that has the contractors? And it's like, I know exactly why they asked that. What they're saying is, hey, did a person of color do this murder so that we could,
blame them on it?
Yeah, so we could try to blame them, and it's like, no, it would had nothing to do with that company. Yeah, I think it was a person of color, but it had nothing to do with the company.
No, it was literally just a dude in his car waiting to pick up his girlfriend after work.
Yeah.
Nothing, didn't work there, didn't nothing. Just some fucking crazy dude.
And that just because the guy's color had nothing to do with the murders. So, but that's the kind of nonsense people are buying out here. So they're afraid of other cultures. They're afraid of letting any kind of progress happen here. And it's really weird because it's like, you will die. Like this community will die if we don't progress.
Yep.
Because the world is changing around you. Like the people that are like, we're at a really sad and how do I say this? It's a very
disappointing.
I guess it's a nihilistic opinion, but a lot of people are looking at AI.
Yeah.
And are going, look how unethical it is, because it's stealing the art from a bunch of artists, the writing from a bunch of writers, stuff that's copyrighted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's now pumping out faster. Not necessarily better, because I look at a lot of AI, and like now it's reached a point where it all kind of looks the same.
What do you think that instruction manual with dicks in it said?
That was probably AI written, yeah.
Yeah. They are reaching a point where people are like, you need to accept this change is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that are going to be losing work because of it, And that's AI. That's the big next thing that's coming in.
Yeah.
But people are already doing that with like remote work.
What people don't understand is AI has been utilized already. It's in the stock market. The stock market isn't like run by people anymore. Like from my understanding, Wall Street shrunk because of that. AI is being used for like logistics around the world to basically make sure that our trade, your Amazon package comes from like China to the U.S. within 5 days. It's already out there, everybody. The issue is how are we as human beings going to regulate and tell other human beings, hey, you can't use it for this? We don't make laws because we want to restrict people's creativities and shit.
Now that's the nihilistic part, though, because you're not going to be able to restrict who's using it. So now it's going to be, well, now that you're using this to replace this, this form of work, whether it's marketing or graphic design or whatever, what is going to be done for the marketing team? What is going to be done for the graphic designers? The copywriters, all these people all around that are losing their jobs to this thing, and this is that thing where years ago when me and Alex were really big on the Yang Train stuff, because he brought up UBI as the obvious answer for that. I'm a lot more nihilistic now because I don't, it's like the government won't do that. Like fucking, they were like, oh, a bunch of people are dying. Here's fucking $1,400.
Yeah, enjoy.
Which you did see a huge boom in the economy because of that though.
Mm-hmm.
So the evidence was there, but now because people are so fucking stupid, they're like, look at the big crash in 2022, and they thought that had everything to do with the stimulus check and not the fact that a war just fucking broke out.
Well, are people still bitching about the price of gas in the Midwest right now?
Yes.
It went back
Still
down.
under $3.
Yeah.
It went back down.
Boy.
Yeah, Joe Biden actually did do some stuff that was.
Biden has been a very effective president. He's got a lot of good stuff done.
Yeah.
I think he's boring as shit, and I don't
Now-
want to have to vote for him again. I'm going to, because that's what we got. But
Yep.
Yeah, that's
he's been a good president.
Yeah,
They don't want to admit it.
I don't know about everything on him. It's like I hate it. It really is the difference between a turd sandwich and a douchebag.
Oh my god,
But-
for real.
But
yeah.
At least the douchebag feels good.
yeah. Well, the thing I hate is like you got the
Shit, he's got a point.
well, the thing is, you got the worst, or you got the best of both situations, but you also got the worst of both situations. Because Title 42, he ended up booting out all the he did Trump better than Trump was doing Trump. Like Trump was just like, I'm gonna do this, and then he just played golf for 4 years. Joe Biden was like, I gotta kick these people out. I don't know why, It's and.
The paper was on my desk. Let's do it.
Yeah. The excuse was COVID. If anyone's curious, why?
Oh yeah, no, everybody's blaming COVID for fucking everything now, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
It's
I still blame
ridiculous.
COVID for when I'm late for work.
Yep.
COVID's still a thing?
COVID slashed my tires last night, man.
Now we know who the Roganite is in the group. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think it's really funny. So a year ago, and I think it happened this winter too. A lot of people are like, "Man, that flu this winter was crazy."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no, you guys, that was fucking COVID. Get a home test so you can tell if it is or not,
Yeah.
man. Like, what
Dumb
the fuck?
shit.
Yeah, like.
Did you get a flu shot? No, I ain't never gonna get no flu shot.
Right? Ugh.
Now, last
Fuck.
year, that did happen to me in January where, because I never got a booster, but when I got tested for COVID and the flu, it wasn't any of that, and I had pneumonia, but there was, I don't think I had pneumonia the whole time. I could have, but
Well,
like,
fucking RSV's going around like a motherfucker
Yeah,
right now
respiratory
out here
virus.
too.
ah!
Yeah.
I think I got tested for that too, but that was a year ago. That was when I died, or I almost died a year
When you
ago.
die.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Silent Hill moment.
Shit, you're at 404. Fuck.
I'm sitting right next to him, man.
Yeah. That was the whole thing where it was funny. Everyone's like, "Man, there was that weird bug, and that was crazy. Like, there hasn't been anything like that."
I
Like-
wonder what that could be.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know what it is, and it's like, oh, crazy. It's not like there's this new fucking virus that
It's
exists now.
it's not like they're putting out vaccines annually now for that
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, come on, my guys. Like,
And it's funny because I haven't talked to my brother about it forever. But he was a big. Well, when I asked him where he was getting all his COVID misinformation, he cited Joe Rogan immediately.
Yeah.
There was a point where I finally got an agreement with him, and that was when I told him that I was reading papers from actual epidemiologists and not the fucking charlatans that were going on the Joe Rogan podcast. But they all kind of were going like, yeah, it's probably endemic. It's probably here to stay.
Oh yeah, it's here to stay.
Yeah. You're not gonna. We're never gonna. There's never gonna be a point where there's herd immunity.
yep.
It's just part of our society. And
Man, people who hate masks are gonna hate the future.
Oh god.
well, yeah, it's like, well, if those people are getting owned. There's a great example I saw in my hometown for COVID where this chick was working out one day, bragging about how good health she was. The next day she was in a respirator with COVID.
Oh, shit.
And I'm not saying I love it because she got it, but I love it because
Just some irony.
yeah. Well,
Right.
she was an anti-vaxxer speaking out, and it's like, hey, look, you just got your.
You got your dose. Yeah, you got your lesson.
Cause I got COVID like right after I got my vaccine. When
That
things happened.
sucks.
Yeah, well, no, it didn't suck because all it felt like was the worst, like itchy nostrils I've ever felt.
Ah,
Oh, that's
okay.
not terrible.
It was like almost burning. I was like, ah, So whatever, I remember some mutual friends of ours when they got COVID, they were writing fucking journals like it was like you're finding notes in a video game every day. About how-
Some people fucking hard.
Well,
Yeah.
on the note of getting hit by it, like when I came back from Thanksgiving last year, I got COVID. Like I got it sometime in the airport, got home, next day I was out. Like I was feeling well. I took my COVID test and it came up positive. Called out from work and everything. Luckily, I think it was like a Friday, so I got fortunate in that like cool, I got 2 days to recover. But dude, I was fucking out. Like about day 3, like I was laying in bed, like this girl I'm seeing now who's a nurse. She told me the position that they put people in hospice. You know, like basically so that way they can breathe.
Yeah.
Because their shit's shutting down, so hopefully they can still breathe, but basically the best sleeping position. And dude, that's the only way I think I survived that day. I should have gone to the hospital that day, but
that first time it seemed like you just kind of lost your taste.
Oh yeah,
when you were living with me.
Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing. Like first time around, just lost my taste, lost my smell. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
No congestion, no headaches, no like going down for the count or anything like that. But this time around, man. Woo, like I said, day 3, I was like, maybe I should call somebody to take me to the hospital just to make sure I don't die.
Right. Well, what's weird is I still don't think I've had it.
No,
Like,
I have not gotten it. Every time I've gotten lucky so far.
Yeah.
I'm also like fucking 6
There's
boosters
wood right
deep
there,
right
guys.
now.
You better knock on it.
Ah, fuck it. I hope I die.
Now, the kicker is, of course, as if you guys were reading up on it during the pandemic, it also shows it also shows up symptomatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys could have had it, and you know, you just would have shown no symptoms,
Yeah.
passed it on to the next person,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
you know, and then it fucking killed them or something. You
Right.
know.
That's why I'm
Right.
saying, to my knowledge, I don't
Yeah.
think I've had it.
And it's crazy that, like, you know, when all this information was coming out about it, so many people didn't care to like learn that, and instead they just wanted to deny it completely. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe you're not. Maybe you're lucky enough to have it asymptomatically, and then you pass it on.
Either
to
deny it completely or like believe a point of view that legit just is like, you are correct.
Yeah.
100%. There's no fucking doubt. Like it's those things that you really want to take with a fucking grain of salt, you know? Like,
right.
because even if they say they're an epidemiologist, and I'm not saying like, you know, don't trust the World Health Organization sort of shit. Like that's no, man. Those guys are funded by multiple governments to make sure shit like this doesn't happen. Because here's the funny thing, everybody. Not everybody's out to kill you.
Right.
Like that's what everybody feels these days, is that everybody's out to get me, or they're just doing it for a profit margin. And like, here's the thing: our world is run on fucking money. I get that scary.
And the people who are
You know,
very anti-vaxxer actually support that system.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the world's funded by money. That's your guys' fault.
Yeah.
You know, like the reason that they're talking about big pharma this, big pharma that. You guys are the ones supporting the system
you
that
guys are the
created
ones
that.
said, yeah, it's okay to let people lobby.
Yeah. Like, you know.
Like, yeah, we're just having our, you know, our chickens come home to roost at this point in time.
Yeah.
You know, like half the shit that's going bad is just, yeah, no, we set that up about 10 years ago, guys, and we just didn't address it.
Right. The really funny thing about the whole argument too, or like anything when it comes to not just anti-vaxxer stuff, but anything these days where there is a authority that they don't trust saying some kind of facts. They're like, well, who funded this study? Who created these? Who's saying these facts? It's like, well, you see, there's these people that got an education in this thing, and they, you know, they get together with other educated people and look at the fucking paper and go, oh, that seems, that information seems right or wrong, and then they, you know, brand it. That's called a peer-reviewed study.
Yeah.
And all the studies that they just happened to like were stuff that weren't peer-reviewed yet, and they literally said at the top of these studies, like, hey, don't use this in any educational way. Don't use this to make any,
Big decision.
yeah, any conclusions whatsoever. It hasn't been peer-reviewed because
But
we're
it has
just...
the information they want to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has the confirmation bias, and that's the thing that annoys me the most, because those people wanted confirmation bias, and it's like all of the, like me, I didn't want confirmation bias. I would rather them have been right and everything not have been as severe as it was.
Yeah.
You know, because that was something that I mean, it still worries me when I think about the fact that, like, you know, a disease that took out 700,000 people, what, in about a year, you know?
Well, they're saying that even that 1.1 million that they have figured is probably a lot higher, and they're just not going to try to figure it out anymore. Like total. From
Yeah.
Then now.
Yeah.
It's fucking knocking people out.
Yeah.
And that number's just gonna, like you're saying, they don't even want to figure it out anymore. How many people are, dying because of it? That's scary. That exists now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people are just going like, "Oh man, that cold! That one cold I had that almost killed me. That was crazy."
Right.
So, sorry, Alex, were you gonna say something a few minutes ago?
I don't know. The world is spinning right now.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is.
Like around once every single day.
Yep.
I have vertigo right now. Got a stone loose in my inner ear, so it's a little weird.
Oof.
Focus is a little off today. Sorry, folks.
Well, we
I'm
have
so
hit
fucked up
like
over there.
we have hit the hour mark. I don't know if you guys had anything else to throw into there. I think that was a kind of
Well, we didn't approach any of the topics you guys told me to provide beforehand. By the way,
Because you know why?
I went.
Structure.
Yeah, I went
We need
straight.
structure.
No, I think this worked way better than we're going with structure. We just went in,
Oh.
talked, and it like naturally progressed. But
Well, I mean, you guys can weigh in on this too.
Well-
Let us know what you like better.
let us
Do
know.
you
Yeah,
like
but-
intros or not?
Do you like the pregnancy pauses? Because apparently that's an issue.
Yeah, do you like?
If
Oh,
we need to fucking knock Doug up, we will.
yeah. No, see, a couple seconds isn't that bad. That's not like.
no.
Yeah, I'm not saying if someone's like, oh fuck, for like 30 seconds or something. That's more of a problem.
Yeah, we've not 30 seconds. We've hit 15 to 20 before, and it's like, oh.
And sometimes you
I mean-
need that little bit of anticipation.
Well. Well, I mean, it's forgivable, right? We're just starting this podcast. This is gonna be what, episode 6?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, episode 6.
I haven't
Episode
forgiven
six.
myself for anything in life.
There are more
so-
recorded,
so-
but this is gonna be episode 6.
Yes.
But I guess we will wrap it up because this is about that time.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. My name is Doug.
I'm
We're
Chuck.
doing this? Oh, okay.
God damn it! My name is Doug.
I'm Alex.
There we go.
I'm Chuck.
I'm James.
And
Alright.
this is Hanging with the Hooligans.
Oh wait, real quick. Go buy In the Shadows of the Forest by Chuck Bailey on Amazon. It's out now.
That's right. Is there anything else that we want to promote right now? I know James might have something if he wants to talk about that, but
I don't know how much I should promote myself about that.
okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll wait till
we'll
you're
talk
comfortable.
about that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll talk about that one
Yeah, the
off
link-
microphone. But in the meantime, you
Yeah.
should go buy a book.
Yeah, the link for that book will be in the. It's not called a bio for YouTube. What is it called?
Description?
The description. Yeah, it will be down in the description.
You can't see me pointing,
Sure will.
but there's a downward pointing finger right now.
Yes, there's an invisible error. My finger is blinking.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys are into survival horror,
Yeah, and it is really good. I had a chance to read that by myself, so it was really good.
Oh, thanks.
And if you like what you're hearing, please like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.